Okay, in this video you will learn how to remove elements from a photo. So that might be small elements that you can fix quite easily or even larger elements. Okay, so we will open the file, and for this tutorial we will use the coffee photo. So I'll open that one up. Okay, so what you can see, it's a nice photo of a cup of coffee. It's got quite a shallow depth of field, so we get lots of fuzzy bits. But what I've got here is this kind of crumb on the table, which is quite distracting. It stands out quite a bit. So to get rid of that, I'm going to use this tool here, which is called the Spot Healing Brush tool. And that is a brush, so I can make it bigger or smaller just by using the square brackets. I don't want to make it too big, I just want to make it bigger than the spot that I'm trying to get rid of. So you can see that's bigger than that crumb there. I can just click using that tool and there goes the crumb. So the way that this tool works is that Photoshop will take information around the part of the photo that I'm trying to get rid of, and we'll just replace it with that information. So you can see I can just get rid of other spots here. There's one down here that I can get rid of, and you can see they just disappear. Great for small things, not so good for larger things. Let's just, if I try to, for example, paint over the writing on the sugar packet here. It's going to have to think for a second. You can see that we're going to have some trouble when parts of the background are different colors. Okay, so good for small things, not so good for large. I'll just undo that change that I just made. Okay, so if I want to remove a larger part of the image, there's another way that I can do, which basically uses the same technique, but it does it in a more controlled way. Let's say I want to get rid of the writing on the coffee cup here. If I just use the Spot Healing Brush tool and just paint all over that, it's going to have to think about it for a second. It's going to grab some of the other information. You can see there it's taken parts of the shadow from the sources, so it's not ideal for large bits. Let's select that space, and you can do this using any of the selection processes. I'm going to use the polygonal lasso tool, and I can just snip around that text on the coffee cup. Until it's all selected, and then I'm going to go up to Edit, Fill, and I want to make sure that the use is set to content aware, and click OK. And there we go. So Photoshop basically uses that same process. It looks pretty good. Let's try this again with the writing on the sugar packet and see what happens. So Edit, Fill, Content Aware. You can see there again, it's not really worked as well because there's different colors in the background. I'll just deselect that. So in an area such as this, we can use a different tool. We have another tool over here which is called the Clone Stamp tool. That works by gathering information from other parts of the image. So I'll just make that brush size bigger using the square brackets. What I need to do when I use the Clone Stamp tool is to gather information from other parts of the image. So I'm going to hold down, if you're using a PC, you'll hold down the Alt key, and you can see that turns into what looks like a little crosshair. And I want the edge of that sugar packet there, so I'm going to click on that, holding down Alt, and you can see that now I've kind of selected that part of the image, and I can just paint over using that part of the image. If I want some of the other orange, again, I just have to hold down Alt again, click, and now I've got that part of the sugar packet to kind of gather information from and just paint over. It's just a matter of just continually reselecting parts of the image, and if you need to make your brush size a little bit smaller, you can. Alright. You can try that again using just to get rid of the raw. Okay. Now you can see that I've used the different parts of the sugar bag to cover over that writing, and it doesn't look too bad. When I'm content with that, I'm going to save that as a JPEG.